Art Baumann, you're welcome. He's a traffic operations engineer for Wisconsin in the Southeast Regional Office. Art is the lead for the region's development review team. This sounds like what Ernie was talking about, your development routine, yeah, development team. Overseeing the preparation review of traffic impact analysis for developments, wow, and non-freeway project studies. He's also the lead of this group from 03 until 15, and then from 15 to 17, Art was the lead for the traffic modeling team, overseeing the preparation and review of operational analysis for department project focusing on freeways. So he's done both non and freeways and freeways. He has over 25 years experience in project design, construction oversight, traffic engineering, all with the Department of the Wisconsin DOT. Art, what do you want to use? As long as you're on mic.
Well, I can see there's a number of people in here that don't like to listen to me. That's not unusual. Here to discuss circulation, and I'll get into more detail about exactly what I mean by that, but in and amongst developments and how it can be a benefit to your highway system as well as to the developer. So this is kind of my agenda of what I'm going over. So what I'm talking about in regards to internal circulation, I'm talking, well, sorry. For the large developments, having interconnectivity between the various uses that are within there. So you have your outlots along here as well as the strip center and that. And then also your individual developments that occur and have some kind of a local road system that is providing before they get to the main arterial at their access points like that. How can you accomplish these connections? There's multiple ways. One option, in this case, we have individual parcels with individual access points to the roadway, but as you can see, they've gone ahead and actually put driveway connections between them. There's no cross-access easements or anything in place with this. This is just a, I guess, tacit permission that allows that connection. The benefits of this is that now the person who's visiting this business can easily get to this business by just driving through the parking lots. They don't have to go out onto the highway. It helps reduce and improve the operations along the roadway. Interesting one in this location, we have a Walgreens here who pursued and got a cross-access easement from this parcel for one of their driveways. We came along in a future project and removed this driveway. Caused a little bit of an issue with the Walgreens. They weren't too happy about it because now their access is only over here. Another is the cross-access easement, where as you can see, this parcel 1 has no direct access to, which is the frontage road here to Blue Mountain Road, which a number of people have presented on previously. His only access is via cross-access easement to this parcel's access. And you can also see this parcel has obtained that as well. So there's multitudes of ways to get people to the road system without having to use a driveway right onto the highway. And then lastly, which everybody's familiar with, the regional mall concept, where you have these private roadway systems. Sometimes you will see these with public roads as well. And all these outlots access that private road system and then access the main arterial systems at the appropriate locations. So what are the benefits of this? For the development, it gives you multiple businesses in one trip. And there's been studies that have shown, and you'll see this a lot of times when you'll see your home improvement stores, your Lowe's and your Home Depots, you'll notice that they like to locate next to each other. What they've found is that by having these close proximity, they get more people to actually visit because it's easier to go from one location to another. Same concept kind of applies here. You got multiple businesses. If you want to make multiple stops, it's a lot easier to stop and just either walk over or drive over a short distance without having to go out on the main arterial to do that. Have seen anecdotally on my end is that it helps with the long-term stability of the corridor. Within our area of the state, Milwaukee area, we have seen that the corridors that have good interconnectivity like this, they tend to last a lot longer. They don't have to redo their businesses. The businesses last a lot longer. And the corridors where the driveways are just immediately to the highway, they seem to die out a lot faster. And I think that's to do with the congestion and stuff that they're having to do with on the roadway. So it could also lead to increases in sales. And rationale from that is that the easier it is to get to a place, more likely you're going to go visit that. And I think that Chris may discuss this, as it could also come into increase in property value because your property is more valuable because it's easier to get to and from. So from this perspective, one of the biggest things is that people love to have access to a traffic signal from their developments. I think everybody's aware of that. Got a development here on the left that's a relatively new development in the Milwaukee area. Took an old industrial warehouse, converted it into a strip retail center. You've got a new grocery store. There's going to be a total of 10 restaurants within this area and 1,000 apartments. All of that is accessing from 2 traffic signals on this road. Imagine what that would look like if all of these guys had to have driveways all the way across here. This road would be a complete mess. I don't even know how you'd build it to accommodate all that traffic. Counter to that, a little ways away from there, here we have a roadway, and this is the J&E business that was discussed at the lawyer roundtable yesterday. On this side, we have a shoe store, a Dave & Buster's, and a car dealership. With our project where we took those access points, we also closed the median opening here and some other improvements. We were able to create a left-in, but here's where the issue comes in. The left-in really only functions for the Dave & Buster's. This parcel up here doesn't, because there's no interconnectivity between these parcels, they can't get that access, so they're relying on their median opening over here for people to get there. But then these two don't have the ability at all to get to this intersection. They have only right-out driveways. So that interconnectivity allows and makes these parcels more valuable because they can get up to and use that signalized intersection. The other thing is that when you're building a new development, it actually may reduce the amount of right-of-way you have to give up, and so you have more land to develop on, and it also can allow you to reduce your improvements. This is a site on the, in the city of Greenfield on the south side of Milwaukee. This is what it used to look like about 3 years ago. Old elementary school, some older level residential housing, and a small furniture store. This is what it looks like today. Tore that all down, new huge retail strip center, outlots along here, some apartment complexes there. Surprisingly, I mean, you look at how much additional traffic this development is generating. All they had to do, close a median opening here, close a median opening over here, and add some turn lane storage lengths. If this would have been in a situation where they did not provide this internal connections, and we're looking for all those driveways here, they likely would have had to widen this road significantly. This is a major county arterial in the area. And turn lanes would have been probably duals, in some cases even triple left turn lanes. Again, that widens the road, and that takes away land that they would have to develop, because almost in every case, the only way the developer can get land is to give up their own land. They don't have the ability to condemn from adjacent parcels. They have to purchase it, and most people aren't willing to do that. Benefits to adjacent street systems. Obviously, it gives us less conflict points. You can see, oops. See over here, we've got a lot of median openings, short turn lanes, a lot of driveways in this area. So it's not as safe an area, whereas in this area you can see the access is via just public street connections, though these are a little tight space there, but less conflict points. It's going to be a safer corridor. Other benefits to the system, it generally leads you to allow to construct a narrow road system. This is a corridor down in Kenosha County, Highway 31, where we have developed an agreement with the local community on where they will place signalized intersections and where we'll allow like restricted left-in only, right-in, right-out access points. This being one of those locations with left-in only. with this, because we got good spacing, half mile for our traffic signals, and then about quarter mile spacings for those left in points, this roadway has a very narrow median. It's only about 24 feet unless you get to the major intersection areas. But here we can get away with just a single left turn lane and the through lanes, because with this greater spacing, you can store longer queues from your traffic signals. When you have the very short spacing, what happens if you had this example of a signalized intersection, even here, you can't get as many cars in between that location. So now you have to widen your road. You got to provide more travel lanes than what you would normally have to. One of the consequences of this style is that your bigger intersections tend to get bigger. You're going to have more dual lefts. We've actually gotten to the point of having some triple lefts at some of these type of intersections, just because you're putting more traffic through them, but you're concentrating that right in one area versus having a road. In this case, this current road is 6 lanes, but it could go up to an 8-lane road if we had to do that. So you're concentrating instead of making a very wide corridor for the whole place. And on top of that, you're improving the operations of the roadway because you have less traffic signals. You're providing more mobility for that corridor, which and higher travel speeds, which again then is a benefit to the developments because more people are wanting to go there because they know it's easy to get to. Got a few examples here of poor circulation as well. I'll get some good ones as well. This is Highway 100 in Wauwatosa, not far from a couple of examples I had previously. This is a major retail, probably the biggest one in the Milwaukee area here. Concentrating on the west side here, you can see that all we have are these businesses with driveways along here, and there's no interconnectivity along the back. This road has about 40,000 ADT on it. Imagine how much fun it is to pull out of this business to drive down here to try to go to that business. It's not an easy trip to do with all the traffic that is out there. Another one, this is actually not just east of that development I showed a little bit ago. Again, we got a bad median opening location here, which is right in the left turn lane at a major intersection. You got another median open here. All of these businesses are not interconnected, so you have to go out onto the main arterial in order to get to them. And then lastly, this is a little bit more different. This is a residential example. We had a subdivision built up here, subdivision built up here. They plotted right-of-way connections to this parcel for future development. Well, when this residential area came in for development, all the people in the older subdivisions yelled and screamed, did not want the interconnections, because obviously they were used to basically living on a cul-de-sac. They did not want all this new traffic to come out on the road. So the city listened to them, and you'll see there is no roadway connections between the subdivisions. I'll give them credit. They did install some bike path pedestrian connections, so there's a little bit of that there. But think about this. If you're living up in here and you're wanting to take your child or somebody to go visit over here, weather's not good, you're not going to walk, you have to drive all the way up here, all the way down like that, up here, back like that, to take a 800-foot trip. That's just not good practice. Here are some good examples. This is in Oconomowoc. We have a nursery, Hans's gas station. He mentioned this in one of you saw his presentation. Aldi's store, this is a Kmart and some other retail uses. And in here, this is actually a resort hotel. These are all interconnected by this roadway system here. So this state highway, we have an access there, there, and there that covers this whole area. State highway flows very well. These people all can visit all those sites without ever having to go out on the state highway. This is a very large mixed-use development down in Pleasant Prairie, which is near Kenosha, near the Illinois border. See here we have a hospital, retail area, offices and apartments down in this area. Some more other commercial up here. You can see they've developed a number of interconnected roadway systems that allow all these uses to go to each other without having to go out onto the major state highway here where we just have well-spaced access points. This has allowed us, we are expanding this road to 6 lanes now, but if these were all signalized and other things, this would likely be an 8-lane facility. And then finally, this is another kind of mixed-use area, commercial. This is a Menards, which is like a Home Depot. We have a Walmart here, and we have a Costco up here. This residential development here can work their way around and get to the Costco without ever going on either of the two state highways. This is a very large intersection already just from our commuter traffic that we have out here. We would have to probably go to an interchange at this location if we did not have that interconnectivity because of all the traffic volumes. So that has allowed us to keep these roads in a much better looking situation, and they do operate fairly well. This intersection does, however, need some improvements. Any questions at all? I would say in our case it's probably a combination of both, but some communities it was some arm twisting by us in order to get them to do that. We have some communities that are really good at working with us, but we have other communities, like the example I showed you with the residential, who will not listen to us no matter how hard we try.